It's around the paw, around the paw. It's around the paw, the Paw Clemson podcast. It's around the paw, around the paw. It's around the paw, the Paw Clemson podcast. It's around the paw.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special live episode of Around the Paw. I'm Garrett Mitchell, on with Cole Gerard, Caden Hughes, Clifton Kennedy, and tonight we have a very special guest joining us for this live episode, former Clemson running back, current sideline reporter, Reggie Merriweather. Reggie, welcome into the show. We appreciate you coming in and joining us, talking a little Clemson football tonight. Glad to have you. Reggie, can you hear us okay?
Hey, what's going on this afternoon? Yeah, I'm having issues hearing you, but yeah, appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, kind of how we're going to do, because I know all these guys here have questions they want to ask you. So we're just going to talk about your career as a Clemson Tiger, about this 2025 Clemson team. And we're just going to kind of pass it around the room because I know everybody has some questions. But the first thing I want to ask you is, you're from South Carolina. You're from North Augusta. You played at North Augusta High School. And so growing up in the football environment and culture in South Carolina, you understand really, really well about Gamecocks, Tigers, the competing nature of these two programs. As you're growing up as a young football player and as you establish yourself as a great running back, talk about the recruiting dynamic that you experienced as a young player between Clemson and South Carolina, and what ultimately led you to choosing Clemson.
Yeah, sorry again. I hear stuff in the background, but I don't hear Garrett.
Yeah, Cole, why don't you try, Cole? Why don't you repeat that question?
I didn't really hear as much as you said, but if you can hear me,
I may have to change my mic. Sorry. Now I can't hear anybody.
can you hear us?
The joys of life.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I can hear Cliff. I can hear you, Clifton. But
You got us?
Yeah, I can hear.
You hear
Cole.
me? You hear me?
Yeah.
All right. You got me?
Yeah, I got you now too.
All right, good.
I was trying to do my AirPods, but I couldn't hear anybody.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Oh, now I can hear you, but still can't hear you. So let me go back to my MacBook. Sorry.
you're good.
Y'all can hear me fine. Is it okay?
Yep, we've got you loud and clear, Reggie.
Okay, so sorry about that. I'll go off my MacBook speakers.
Okay, perfect. So, but the question was, growing up in South Carolina, North Augusta, you played for North Augusta High School, standout running back for the Yellow Jackets. So, growing up in the football environment and that culture in South Carolina, you know all too well the rivalry between South Carolina and Clemson on the field in recruiting. So, talk about the recruiting process for you as a player and, being exposed to that for the first time with, you have different schools and particularly two rivals that I'm sure were both interested in you coming to play for them. What ultimately led you to choose Clemson?
Well, I'll tell you what. The funny thing is, I don't know if you guys remember Demetrius Summers, but
Absolutely. Lexington.
what an awesome running back. What an awesome athlete, man. He's a two-sport athlete too, man. He probably could have got picked up in basketball and football, but that's right around the time that I played, and obviously, with Buddy Pugh at South Carolina, looking at him, Demetrius and myself, I actually got a call one day from Buddy Pugh, said he's going to come to North Augusta and see me, and then I actually saw him in person. And then I think that's what rescinded my offer. He was like, "Man, this guy's too small to play in the SEC." So, the rest is history. But I had a great recruiter in Rich Stockstill. He was at the game this past weekend. He's an analyst now at Florida State. He's a heck of a recruiter, heck of a guy. He used to write letters and all kind of stuff. And when I see him, he used to remember everybody's name, and that's one of his kind of like unique tricks, I guess. But he remembers parents, cousins, best friends, somebody who played 20, 30 years ago. Man, I thought that was really cool. So the recruiting process was really just one-sided after I had my visit with South Carolina, and it was the writings on the wall, and so I chose Clemson. Like I said, the rest is history. But I think the biggest thing is when you start talking about proximity to the house. Columbia was only an hour away. Clemson was about two hours and some change, and I felt comfortable when I went on campus at Clemson. When I say comfortable, it was just like I almost felt like I've been there before. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Columbia, it's like concrete jungle. It's a lot of stuff going on. It felt more like city to me versus being at the house. So that was the biggest thing there in my decision. But I had several offers, several of the schools, but like I said, the guy that sold me on the Clemson dream was definitely Rick Stockstill, who's one of the best coaches there, wide receiver coach. And actually, Dabo Swinney replaced him, his senior season. They should have made him probably the next offensive coordinator, but things happen for a reason. They let him go. He ends up going to South Carolina and hired Dabo. Dabo's been taking over the program, taking us to national championships, and like I said, the rest is history. But yeah, those two guys, man, just incredible people. And like I said again, that was part of the reason why I came to Clemson.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll ask this, and then I'm gonna let Cole and Caden throw some questions your way. But a couple of years into your Clemson career, and you talk about the rivalry with South Carolina, you were a part of one of the more memorable games in that rivalry, and I can still remember watching it. I was 19 years old at the time, and I remember sitting there watching 63-17. It was just an incredible game to watch. You were a part of that. It's always great to beat your rival, but when you can go into hostile territory and just complete an utter demolition like that, talk about the experience that night at Williams-Brice Stadium. What was that like?
Oh yeah, so that would have been my sophomore, even my freshman year. But the rivalry is not what it used to be. I mean, I think the fans are still the fans, but I think between the players, NIL has played a big role in that too. You've got a lot of kids that don't stay in state anymore. Prime example would be Staley, Brandon Staley, who ends up going to Tennessee. Clemson recruited him, South Carolina recruiting, couldn't keep him. There's a few more guys I could probably name in there too, but the rivalry is just not the same for the players. Fans it is, but just not for the players, just because all these guys, leave and go to Georgia, Florida, elsewhere, Tennessee, North Carolina. So again, that's kind of dulled it down, but being able to, basically mark that game on the calendar during preseason, during your summer workouts, and say, hey, this many days till we get here, it's special. And like I said, again, I don't think the rivalry is the same because you have so much other stuff going on. But again, being able to go into Williams-Brice, Willie D, and silence the fans and watch everybody leave at halftime, that's a pretty good feeling. And like I said, again, that's really cool because a lot of the guys that I played with, you either went to South Carolina or you went to Clemson. I didn't think a lot of guys really wanted to travel out of state. Half of my Shrine Bowl team, like I said, again, you either went to South Carolina or you went to Clemson. Think about Gaines Adams, Anthony Waters, Aries Curry, Ty Hill, all those guys, ended up picking, either Clemson or South Carolina. And it was very rarely you saw a guy, unless you were just, all world, go to somewhere else. One of the brand names that I can think about now is, Ricardo Hurley. Ricardo Hurley is one of those guys, could have went to anywhere, ended up choosing South Carolina. So anyways, played against him in high school. So just to go to really be and show out in front of those guys, Marcus Lawrence, like I said, Troy Williams, a few of those guys too from the CSRA.
Troy Williams down at Silver Bluff.
Yeah. And again, being able to kind of brag during the holidays when I see him at the local Walmart. It's kind of
how many
cool.
touchdowns did you have that game?
So the 63-17 game, I did not have not one touchdown.
Oh.
But funny story. So the last score of the game, it was supposed to be a RPO, and my roommate Chancey Stuckey, who ended up playing quarterback when he came in freshman season, ended up pulling the football and goes and scores the last touchdown. So
He stole your
that's
touchdown.
yeah, stole my touchdown. I'm running in behind him as he scores, and we celebrate. But I told him I'll never forget that. I still tell him to this day, man. You stole my first touchdown in Williams-Brice. So, but yeah, like I said, man, I think a lot of people don't really realize how far. Well, I guess they do how far, South Carolina and Clemson have come. And like I said, NIL has kind of played a big role in that too, with kids not staying in the state. But it's a competitive market, and you got to go after that big buck. So, but I can't wait this year. Obviously, both teams are not as good as they hope to be, and we're probably going to be fighting for bowl eligibility here with either game 6 or 7. So it's got a little bit more meaning on it this year.
Yeah, Reggie, I want to talk a little bit about post football. I'll let them get to the other questions, but what kind of led you into the radio booth, and talk about calling that 56-yarder from Nolan Hooser this last December.
Oh man, look, my journey to the radio booth has been a wild one. So obviously, a couple guys that came before me, most famous probably Patrick Sapp. Then you had Mike Palmer, who was there on the broadcast team. So I always used to come back and tailgate. Probably, I don't know. I think I waited a few years before I came back into the stadium, but I think this was might have been 2012 or 2013. I started coming back around the program, and Scott Reimer actually got me on doing the pregame show. And then a couple people heard me on the radio and said, "Hey, you might be interested in this position." And so I think it was Mike Palmer ended up canceling on him 1 year. I said, "Hey, man, we got a guy, Reggie Merriweather." And so I started out as the color commentator on the field, which was some of the best times because obviously Deshaun Watson, was there with first national championship. Obviously watching Trevor Lawrence on the sideline there, some of just the great players that we had. And then COVID happened, and then after COVID, media, they hit social distancing and all that. They didn't want people on the field, so I got booted into the stands for a season. So it'd just be me and a mic in an empty seat. And then, a couple of years later, I got moved up to the booth. So it's Don, Timberay, the Hall of Famer Timberay now,
Yes.
and myself in the booth. So I think we have a pretty good broadcast team. We also work well together. So it's been a great tenure. And I tell a lot of people, man, I was never a part of, a team like this where, like I said, again, we can bounce ideas off each other. Don Munson, the voice of the Tigers, man, I could, just imagine being beside him, helping him call a game. And then obviously the Hall of Famer Tim Bray, Ben Milstead, our on-site engineer, and then obviously Sanford Rogers, our spotter. So we have a really good group, travel well together too, man, have dinners. And so we're really close-knit team, and we just have fun. We like to go on the road and have fun. So it's been an exciting trip. Like I said, man, going to, I don't know how many ATP championship games together, and, being on the road in Texas, and obviously Louisiana, Orlando, just all over the place, traveling with the football team and just being able to call the game. So not as old as Tim and Don, but I like to laugh and brag when they say they've really seen some things. I was like, I'm with you guys. I've seen some things too. So that's it's a really cool part of being a part of their gang and getting some of that knowledge. So I don't know if you guys know, but the great Hall of Fame Tim Bray has a notebook that he carries around with him, and that's why they call him Clemson Google. I mean, it's got anything and everything possible in that binder, and I'm just like, man, how in the world did you accumulate all this stuff? But man, he's got stats on top of stats, and it's just incredible to like I said, to watch him work and to see how he does this. And obviously he's been doing it for 40, 50 years now, so it's just incredible to watch those two guys work together. And really, really proud to be a part of the radio broadcast group.
It was great to see them on the field. It was great to see him on the field and honored. That was amazing.
Oh yeah. His wife Kay, she's South Carolina. She's a South Carolina girl, so they have a house divided. But she's wonderful. She tags along with us too, and like I said, just to see him put on a sports coat and be inducted was really cool. Now I know a couple Hall of Famers, so that's really awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I have a question. Like, what's your favorite Clemson moment, either off the field or in the broadcast booth or as a player? Or do you have
Well,
multiple?
well, I'll tell you what. I have multiple. So my favorite Clemson moment, people's like, "Oh, well, you scored touchdowns here. You did all this, did all that." I said, probably say my most favorite moment was walking across that stage and getting my diploma. That was a big one. Probably my second one would be literally just playing with some of the guys that I played with. I mean, again, a lot of people don't know the grind. You know, they don't have freshman two a days anymore. They don't have summer conditioning. They don't have freshman camp. So we literally went through the gauntlet when you start talking about, you know, football, just one on one, what we did day in, day out during summer camp. That was really cool. Some of the guys that I played with, I played with 4 or 5 guys that were first, second, third round. Played, several years in the league. So that'd probably be my second. And then my third, man, we talking about Nolan, Hoosier last year during the ACC championship. I mean, my gosh, going into that game, Miami, obviously. Um, I'm not sorry, not Miami, scoring touchdowns, but SMU, that game, incredible the way it ended. You think about 2 years ago at Wake Forest, getting a pick at the end of the game to seal that one. They used my little sound out for that. It's a pick, so I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of little things that just kind of add up. I can remember Tony Elliott, now the head coach at Virginia, who's having a heck of a run this season. I can remember him, me, Justin Miller, Chancey Stuckey, Gaines Adams, Anthony Waters, just a bunch of guys in a room sitting down talking to Tony Elliott about life, and that was he was a senior, we were freshmen. And, the thing that I remember the most about that conversation was basically him saying, hey, it's a numbers game. Only a few of you will actually make it to the next level. And these are the things you need to do to succeed in football and in life. And that stuck out with me. And I tell everybody to this day, man, I mean, I respect Tony Elliott more than anybody because, he was the first person to tell me that. And it's just stuck with me through the years. But played it with a lot of guys too. Like I said, again, I can remember Sean Merriman, crazy moment. We're playing Maryland, and it's Charlie Whitehurst at quarterback, and we just really started trying to do some RPO stuff with Michael Caine. Anyways, Charlie takes off down our sideline. Sean Merriman just comes and cleans him up on the sideline. He ends up yelling at Coach Bowden. Says, "Man, y'all better start running that. You'll get that man killed." Just and now, obviously, I was with Sean out there and at San Diego in camp. So just to see him in person was pretty cool. Play with him was cool. Just a bunch of old stories that kind of stuck with me. But I don't really have one that I can just nail down and say, hey, this is definitively the best part of the journey. But I tell a lot of people, it's really cool being a part of the game without being in the game anymore, and to see some of the stuff that I've seen over the years, especially in the radio booth now, it's just really cool. It sticks to me.
Reggie, you talked a lot about players and coaches and some of your coworkers now. You've obviously been in Clemson for like 20, 25 years at this point. So you seem to have a strong sense of or strong appreciation for the community here. What is it about Clemson's culture and Clemson's community that's kept you around for so long?
Well, I tell you, it would have been the small town feel, but now everything feels so commercialized.
Yeah.
And when I was in school, downtown really wasn't the downtown that you have now. We only had 1 or 2 bars, and everybody knew your name, and you could go to the local pub and meet one of your professors there and have a sandwich with them during lunch or grab a beer at night, that type of stuff. But I think just to me, Clemson, when they say it's something in these heels, being able to remember the alma mater, being able to come back and people know your name, being able to, bring my nieces and nephews there, tailgate on grass, hang out, go to SO Club, and, just enjoy friends that come back too, and, that graduated and share the same feelings that we feel about the program. And, just being able to cheer the guys on. The way my career ended at Clemson, I thought I would never be able to come back and enjoy myself. But, we found a way. And so, like I said, I tell a lot of people it's just something in these heels, and it's really important to kind of stick to your roots. And I feel like Clemson was a very pivotal part of my life, and it's made me who I am today. And I thank everybody that's been a part of my journey. But it's just really fun town. It's a small town too, and like I said again, you've got the lake there. You've got a bunch of things that you can enjoy without having the big time feel. And I think one of the biggest things for me, like I said again, just the culture that not only the school has, but the football team has. The Tiger Walk, they brought a lot of things back into the fold that they used to do, but they kind of stopped. But now they brought it back, so we just enjoy the like I said, the pageantry and just everything that Clemson has to offer now. So it's been a really cool time, especially bringing my nieces and nephews back to games, and me pointing out little bars and places that used to be there, and now it's blown up so much it's commercialized. But we're giving a tour to some of our friends from New Jersey, who their daughter actually goes to MBA school in Clemson, and the new student center. We drove around, and we went to the dairy, got ice cream, and we started walking around, and we started looking at stuff like, man, what is this? So much stuff has changed. Yeah, so much stuff has changed. But that's the cool thing about it. I mean, like I said again, you win a couple of national championships, money starts coming into the program, so you start updating. But I'm proud of Clemson, proud of the town, proud of the school and the direction that they're going. And like I said, man, it's something in these hills that keeps people coming back, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. Now I want to kind of we're going to get into this week's game, short week against Louisville. But before I jump into that, before we all do, I do want to ask you. Clemson has this long lineage of great running backs, yourself included. But you go back in the last 20 years, you've got guys like C.J. Spiller, James Davis, Ellington, Wayne Gallman, Travis Etienne, Will Shipley, Phil Maffa. I'm curious to get your opinion on this year's running back group. And that's, of course, led by Adam Randall and then Gideon Davidson, who, and I'll admit, I've been clamoring all season long for Gideon Davidson to get more playing time because I really like this kid. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this year's running back group, what it's like now, and where do you see it going forward?
Oh, that's a tough one because we really haven't seen everybody. I mean, I wonder sometimes, and CJ's the guy. He's the coach. Obviously, we played together. I think he's a hell of a coach, a hell of a player. But I ask myself sometimes, it's like, what is the rotation? You know what I mean? I think they say a lot of the young players, like, okay, they don't know the blocking schemes or they don't know all the plays, whatever it may be. But it doesn't matter. You're an athlete. Put him out there on a swing pass and see if he can take it 90. You know what I mean? So, most of your great running backs probably aren't great blockers. So to say that they don't know the plays or the blocking schemes, I think is kind of a sham. But get to see Gideon Davis, like I said again, we've got a lot of horses back there. I think the odd man out is Keith Adams' son. To me, he looked really good at the closing of the Boston College game, and I thought, man, he would probably get some pub, these next few weeks. It just, again, it's hard to put your finger on it, but I think Adam Randall playing receiver, coming over to running back. I don't want to take a shot at anybody, but that really tells you kind of where we are as a program. And not to say that he's not a great athlete. I think he looks good at running back. I think he does great. But, you think about Georgia, think about LSU, you think about Notre Dame, all these other big schools, are they doing that? Is that something that they have to do because they're not, out recruiting? But again, I think we're doing a good job by developing. I just wish that we would, let the young guys play more. So, at quarterback, you gotta know what you have. And unfortunately this year we haven't been up in a lot of games. So, we haven't been able to see that. But at the same time, you know, pivotal moments, the kid's gonna play at some point. You know what I mean? Whether you're 1-10 or 12-0, he's got to have some type of reps. So seeing him in the last few games has been really telling. I think the kid is really be really good. He looks explosive. I saw him catch that pass at the backfield and turn it up, and he got great pad level. I think he's going to be good. But like I said, again, you need to see more of them. And like any great running back, right? You got to get touches. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get, you're going to get better and get the feel of the game. Like I said, man, you got to get oiled up like an old Cummins diesel. You know what I'm saying? You gotta smoke a little bit, get a little bit of that oil going, and then you'll get the fit of it. But like I said, I'm excited about the backfield. I'm excited about where they're going. They've got a lot of talent there. Now, will they stay? I don't know. But
It's always subjective in this day and age.
it's all subjective, and then you got to think about it too. Most of these guys coming out, they were getting recruited by all these other schools, and you have the NIL now, and Clemson is obviously evaluating. They have a talent evaluator, NIL evaluator now, so you've got a lot of kids that may jump ship this year to go to a better program or to just get a little bit more money, which, again, like I said, I don't blame them. But I think we have a solid backfield. I think we've got a lot of good players that we haven't seen, and I think we're going to be really healthy group going forward. But like I said, again, it's telling to have your best running back be a converted wide receiver. Now, I may just be talking crazy, but like I said, again, most of your bigger schools don't have to do that because they've got dogs in line. You know what I mean? Prime example would be Georgia. Georgia's had for decades 2 or 3 guys that could start anywhere. And I thought Clemson at one time would be like that, and they have been. But like I said, again, we've got guys that we haven't seen. Adam Reynolds had a pretty decent season. Despite all of our issues that we've had on offense. And like I said, again, I don't want to get into it too much because I scratch my head sometimes. We had 35 rushing yards against, was it SMU or something like that? I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What type of offensive identity do we have? And your quarterback's hurt. He's coming off a high ankle sprain. And then you got him in the fourth quarter running quarterback draws. What are we doing? So, again, that's just me on my pedestal, trying to figure out what we've got going on. But like I said, again, you've got some really good backs, and we just haven't seen much of them to be able to cast a ballot. But I'm excited about the group and hope to see them get more pub. And I'm a little biased. I think they should get 25, 30 touches every game. But our offense is not really set up for that, which it should be. But that's I digress. But yeah, I'm excited about it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, Reggie. Obviously, Clemson got a huge win last Saturday against Florida State at home. Now you're taking it on the road to Louisville in a Friday night lights game, sitting at 4-5. You're trying to keep that bowl eligibility streak alive. Louisville had a tough loss to Cal last week. This is the first game all season that Clemson's been an underdog. What does Clemson have to do to take it on the road to Louisville and get away with that 5th win?
Well, I was gonna say, man, the last time I think we played up there, we played them, it was a dogfight. But I think defensively, I think offensively we'll be okay. If defensively we can shut down some of their big time play guys, I think we'll be okay. But one of the glaring things to me this season is just the big plays. We've had a lot of big plays on offense, but defensively we've given up a ton of big plays. And you're playing on the road, you want to kind of control the clock, control the tempo of the game. But we just haven't been able to do that this season defensively. But again, on the road, you want to run the football. You want to take the crowd out of it. I think it's going to be a still pretty big crowd for a Friday night game. I know a lot of people are traveling to Louisville, so I don't know if it's going to be 60-40 or 70-30, whatever as far as fans goes. But hopefully, a lot of Clemson fans will travel. But again, you're on the road, you're in a hostile environment, so running the football, controlling the clock, converting those third downs, that's all key factors to it. So I would hope that the game plan would be, again, take your shots when you can. I've really enjoyed watching Antonio Williams these last few weeks. They've drawn up plays for him inside the red zone to get him one-on-one matchups. And I think that's something that, we could do this game because honestly, I think their secondary is pretty good. I don't think their linebacker core is that good. So, again, getting Antonio Williams on a linebacker, a mismatch, even putting Tristan Smith on a one-on-one matchup to kind of clear everything out, I think is going to be good too. So I like to see a little bit more creativity on offense as far as that goes. They've done it last two games, but we've sputtered in the second half. I don't understand why we get so conservative, but again, I don't get paid $3 million a season, but we get really conservative in the second half. And it's cool if you're up by 45 and they have zero, but if they continue to score in the second half and you don't put any points up, you're going to lose the football game. So again, just being competitive, running the football, taking time off the clock, playing your game for 4 quarters, and really just getting after their quarterback. Been a little bit disappointed at our defensive line, but like I said, we've had opportunities where we can blitz, 5, 6 guys, and we just don't get to the quarterback in time, and we did up some big plays. So last week, Florida State, again, the ball just rolled our way. I can't remember how many passes that they dropped that they were wide open, but fortunate for Clemson. And like I said, again, it's been glaringly obvious that, Tom Allen comes out in his press conference and basically said, hey, I don't have the guys that I need to run my defense, but, hey, I'm here. Keep it simple, stupid. What can we run, to fix this issue? So I saw them last week communicate. You've got Brown, you've got all these guys pointing, hey, you got him, this is man to man, I'll take him. That's good. That's what we need more of that. What we don't need is quarterback spy, and you've got Woodaz or somebody else running into the line of scrimmage when they've got the quarterback. That's that's stuff that can be easily fixed. But again, you've got to have the people in those positions to make that. So like I said, again, on the road, hostile environment, this is a game that both teams need to win, us more than them, because obviously we're trying to get bowl eligible. But I think coaching wise, man, you just put everything on the line. You go out there, keep it simple, stupid, and let the guys play. So that's going to be the biggest thing there.
Yeah, you talked about obviously what you want to see going into this next game and stuff, and I want to go a little bit more into over the next 3 games in a more big picture sense. Let's say if we do win out and become bowl eligible and finish the season on a 4-game winning streak and strongly. I know you touched up on a lot of what you want to see, but just overall, what would you expect? Kind of changes would you expect to be made for us to make it there, for our goals to be achieved?
Oh, well, that's a good point. That's a really good question. To be honest, what hasn't been done thus far? It's really tough to watch the game, watch the sideline, and then watch the post presser with some of the coaches, and say to yourself that things are going to be okay. I don't want to say that you have guys that quit on the team, but you definitely see some people that have partially checked out. I don't know if that makes sense, but there's something called hustle, right? And a lot of times we don't really see that out of some people. And again, busted plays happen. I get it, but for your team to continually to make those type of plays week in and week out, that's pretty glaringly obvious that there's an issue there. So whether you fix it with better players or better coaches, that's a Dabo decision. He says he's gonna right the ship. So I have to just believe in him, and obviously the donors do as well, and for him to make the right decisions. But you've got to put people on the field that are gonna play, guys that are want to be here. They want to wear the Clemson uniform, and they want to show out once they get on the field. So I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is for both coordinators to kind of get in their bag. I mean, again, you get paid a lot of money, so it's not the Jimmys and Joes all the time. It's the X's and O's. So maybe you have to work a little harder to try to figure out the scheme that's going to help your team with the things that you have there. And I think the third thing is too, man, you got to put people in the game. You know, I think again, if the kid doesn't know the plays, you may have to have a package for him. But and again, I'm not to talk bad about anybody, but I think some of the coaching decisions, like you have Tristan Smith, kid is 6'4", 6'5". He looks the most electric when he touches the football. He'll catch an out route and make 10 people miss and get the crowd back into the game. But you have him on the sideline where you have, Turner, who, again, he's a burner, but, he probably doesn't have the athleticism that Tristan Smith had. But you have him running go routes. And I was just like, man, you sit there and you watch film and it's like, what's the thinking behind this? Like I said, again, I'm not a coach. I'm just an observer, guy who has probably a trash opinion. But when you go into the portal, you get kids like this, and it's like, man, what precedents are we stating? Are we setting? And hey, I can go to Clemson, I can ball out, I can play, or is it, hey, I'm gonna have to sit 2 years, a year before this senior in front of me, moves out of the way. So like I said, again, it's a few things that they could probably do to finish the season strong. I would love to see some of these younger guys play. Obviously, you got to know what you have going into next season, and you want to give these kids some hope that we will be here next season versus going into the portal and getting the bag. So that's just a little tidbit there. But, man, you've got to – I can't remember the last time we didn't go to a bowl game. That was 2005 maybe. I mean –
Was that the year that of the fight?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, it's 2005. Yeah.
5-5?
Yeah, I think it was 05. Either 04 or
04 was the fight.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
04, 05, yeah. So, I mean, you think about it, man. That's 20 years ago,
Yeah.
So Clemson's not only been having a winning record, but they've been to a bowl game since then. And it's just like, man, I don't know. Like I said, again, you start shaking your head there a little bit. When you start thinking about possibility of not going to a postseason game and some of the stuff. It may be good for the team, may be good for everybody. I don't know. But to think that it's been 20 years that you haven't gone is been kind of crazy. But yeah.
A bunch of records have been broken this year. Hopefully it's not that one.
Yeah, hopefully it's not that one. I thought the Power Four getting beat at home, that was a big one. And like I said, again, I think we have a lot of guys that we brought in. The linebacker from Alabama, you've got Helt, who played well. You've got a few pieces to the puzzle that you brought in and just not playing. And like I said, again, I'm not in the coaching room. I understand that these guys probably haven't been up to speed. They're trying to figure out, play calls and all that type of stuff. But I'm just like, look, we need a play. Put Tristan Smith in. He's got one-on-one coverage. Let him catch a deep ball. Let him catch one of those 50-50 balls like Mike Williams. I'll put the linebackers in the game. I'll put, I'm trying to think of 15 Lawson. Lawson came out. He had a heck of a ball game last week and the week before. So I'm just trying to think about ways that can spark the team and get ready for next season versus just plan to play. You know what I mean? So I think they have a lot going for themselves. They just have to find a way. I mean, it's gut check time now. And like I was saying on the radio last few weeks, short yardage situations, that's a want, right? Tackling in those situations, that's a want. And if you don't want it, you're not going to do it. So to watch Dabo go to the sideline and absolutely ring the entire defense and guys shying away and looking away, that's a want thing, and you got to have players there that want it. So, take it with a grain of salt, knuckle up, buttercup, gotta win these last three.
Well, you were talking about Tristan Smith and that catch that he had on that free play for a touchdown. Man, that was something else.
And you see that, and then you say, well, why isn't he playing more? And then nobody has any good answer. And I just like, do you want to win or, I don't know. That's a hot take. We're on a couple group chats that we send stuff around, and it's like, we know everything's good with the program, but winning is part of the fun. So if we can win, more kids will want to come here. But like I said, again, I think that's a hot take. And a lot of people think that since we're, graduation rate's good, all that's good, winning is second fiddle. But, I'd like to have something to brag at work when I go in there and on the weekend, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I think that they got to have some kids that want it. And I think you need to play those kids. And I think the biggest thing is just, again, keeping it simple, seeing what you got, put the players out there, see if they play.
Oh yeah. Yep. Uh-oh. You're muted, Garrett.
All right. Yep, I was muted. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
So we always wrap up every show by throwing out some predictions for each game. And Reggie, you're our guest. You're our guest this week, so you're our guest predictor. But we're going to come to you second because Cole's got to jump off here. So we're going to let Cole go first, and then Reggie will jump to you. So Cole, you got the floor. What you got?
Well, I'll tell you the biggest thing for this Clemson team. When you're fighting for the University of DePaul, what it means to go out there and play football. You got to go out there this weekend. Your offense has been playing good the last couple of weeks. Looks like Cade Clement's finally getting that stride back. I think the defense gets in on the fun this weekend. I think, you got to contain Miller Moss. I think Ashton Hampton, AV, and those guys get on the interceptions this weekend. The Tigers pull out a gutty, really hard-fought win Friday night in Louisville. I'm going to go – I don't know how high scoring it's going to be. I think both offenses put a good bit of points up. Let's go 38, 31 Tigers. It's going to be a really close game, fourth quarter ball game. Defense gets a big stop.
All right, hey, I love it. Well, Cole, I know you got places to be. Go ahead and slide on out, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. See you, Cole.
All right, Reggie, again, you're our guest tonight, so you're next up. How does this game go? From where you see Louisville, from where Clemson stands, obviously Louisville had a pretty bad loss to Cal this last week. So does that fire them up, or does Clemson go in and get the win?
He can't hear you, Garrett.
Oh, I'm not muted.
Can you?
Yeah.
You got me now, Reggie?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you fine. I can't hear Garrett. I got the speakers going, but still can't hear him.
Well, he was just saying what do you think the score is going to be this weekend, and what's your take on the game?
Well, we've played better away than we have at home. That's a hot take too. I think one of the crazy things I'm thinking about now is just how is two going to play on the road. Cade has done some amazing things this season. Like you said, going on the road to Boston College, he had a huge game. We put up 500 yards of offense and 3 of the last 4 games or 5 games. So I think offensively, if we find a groove, that'll be good. But we haven't found a way to play complementary football all season. So, if the defense is playing like trash, offense is doing good. But if the defense is playing great, offense is playing like trash. So I think for this game too, like I said again, we've got to lean on the wide receivers and the running backs. And if Cade can do it with his legs, obviously we've got a banged up offensive line too. Just think about how they've moved around this year. We've got our starting left guard playing and starting left tackle playing guard. We've moved a couple guys around. So again, we're a little beat up, but that's why you scheme. So anyways, I'm going to take the Tigers this week. I don't think it's going to be that high of a score in the game, but I could be wrong. But I'm thinking 28-20 Tigers, maybe 27-21, something like that close on the road. I think it's going to be a one-score ball game like many of Clemson games have been this year, one-score ball game going into the fourth quarter. But I think they find a way to gut it out on the road.
Like it. All right, Caden, you're up.
All right. It feels sacrilegious to be next to a old Clemson player and pick against the Tigers, but I might have to do that. I think Louisville's a very, very good team. They're having a great season, and just overall, I think Reggie, you talked about it earlier. The play calling and the scheming throughout the season has been an issue, and the conservative nature on both sides of the ball.
I lost him again. I don't know what's going on with my speakers, but
Should I wait?
So I'm just gonna take my AirPods out. Hold on.
All right, you're all good.
Stand
Go
by. This is live entertainment, everybody.
Yeah.
That's how the sausage is made. Is that the expression? I actually don't know.
Yeah. There we go.
All
Go
right, is
ahead.
that better
Kate.
working?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Yep.
Oh, it's perfect. Can you hear me?
That's back off for me again. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. Sorry.
You're all good.
Testing the speakers on StreamYard. It sounds like they're working. Have a
Did you find that?
Yeah, I don't know what I did here, guys. I just lost audio. So
It's all right. Just
Okay,
continue,
I can
Kate.
hear you.
Yeah,
sorry.
just
Yeah.
continue.
Y'all can hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. We're
Yeah.
good with
Yeah.
you. Yep.
All right, perfect. Well, as I was saying, it feels sacrilegious to be next to a old Clemson player and stuff and pick against the Tigers, but I might need to do that because I think Louisville is a very good team overall and stuff. And you said earlier the schematically, just on both sides of the ball, the conservative play calling has been an issue all season. My biggest issue has been with the defense. I think that's going to get exposed a lot throughout this game. I think that a simplified defense, it makes a lot of sense and it's something you have to do. It's good that Tom Allen has the awareness to make that change and to focus on the fundamentals and breaking things down. I also think that a more bend don't break philosophy isn't the worst way to play football, but I don't love both of those things mixed together because if you're running a bend don't break off defense, you have to be able to take advantage of the opportunities you have throughout each possession. Those third downs, those red zone opportunities, you need to be able to send those blitz packages, those stunts, those things that you practice are a little more complex and a little bit harder to do. You're going to have to be able to do that when those opportunities come. And so if you're focusing on a simplified game, I think you have to change the football philosophy a little bit more. On the offensive side of the ball, I don't want to get into play calling too much and stuff, but I think obviously I want to see more downfield passing. I want to see more guys getting touches and stuff. And I've just seen I would love to see a little more creativity on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And I don't think we're going to see it on Saturday. So I actually do have Louisville taking care of business and beating us this weekend and stuff. And I'm going to go I don't think it's going to be super high scoring either. I'm going to go 24-20 Louisville.
Shame on you.
All right, Cliff.
All right.
Are you going to counteract that, Cliff?
I am going to counteract that. I think Clemson has to score 30 at least. And that's going to be hard, I think, because that's been very few between all season. I think we got to stop them on third down. That's been rough. But I think we do it 31-28. Tigers.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. Last year, Clemson had their manhood taken down a little bit by Louisville coming into Death Valley. Cliff, you and I were there. I mean, that was not a fun night. Louisville came in and took it to Clemson. And I think there's something to be said for a team that's pissed off and who wants to return the favor. So I'm going to I think Louisville might be reeling just a little bit after losing to Cal. Clemson's going to go into Louisville. They're going to march out with the win. The offense is going to score some points. I think the defense does just enough. It's a moderately high-scoring game. Give me Clemson, I'll say 38 to 28. Give me Clemson 38-28.
Okay.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us on this live episode of Around the Paw. Reggie, I don't know if you can still hear me or not. If not, Cliff, pass this along. But so great to have you on the show tonight. It's not often we get a guest on the show and to have one as great as you. It's been a true pleasure for us.
Yeah, Reggie, thanks so much. We really appreciate you coming on, man. And it was great to have a conversation and talk about the Tigers.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, I'm having audio issues, but like I said again, I appreciate you having me on, and hopefully the Tigers can pull out a big win this weekend. Man, they've got to get going. But like I said, I think the big thing is for both of the coordinators, just keep it simple. Obviously, the kids have to play, but play calls really matter. So hopefully, see you next week or the Furman game. We'll have a W in the column, and we'll be one game closer to going bowling, son.
Yeah,
That's exactly right. I love it.
Yes,
I love
sir.
it.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
let's do it.
All right. Well,
thanks for
hey,
having me on again.
game's
I'll talk to
coming
y'all
up
guys
on
later.
Friday.
Thanks.
We're less 48 hours away, so Only thing left to say tonight is go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.